They asked me to. I'm good, thank you. I think my girlfriend would kill me. Maya, you got smoked.
Hello, Shaker Heights varsity baseball fans, and welcome into today's game as Shaker is taking on the Normandy Invaders for the second time this season. Our apologies for the technical difficulties. This is not exactly how we want our camera to be. Again, there's going to be no on camera intro as well, so our apologies for the technical difficulties. We should get this back up as we would like it soon enough. I mean, like by around the midpoint. We'll see. We'll keep you updated as that goes. But for now, let's hit you with the straight fact. It's going to be Casey Robinson starting for the Red Raiders on the mound. He's a sophomore that has pitched very, very well. He's the ace coming in, however, with more losses than wins. The only reason being is because he is that ace. He's the guy that always takes on number one of the other school. And that's just how it goes in high school baseball. You don't get matchups like you do in the MLB because that's just always odd. It's a very different thing here in high school ball. But Casey Robinson back out. Again, a losing record, but that doesn't really show his talent. He's up against a freshman on the mound for Normandy, and these two schools have actually already played each other. It was an 8-7 victory for Shaker. The interesting thing is there's a lot of emotion behind that win. Shaker came in, and after the first two innings, they were down 7-0. They came back to win it in 9 innings. That's 2 extra innings. They won it 8-7 in a walk-off from sophomore Nate Landever. And now it looks like Casey Robinson is set for his first pitch of the evening. Again, he's the ace guy. Shaker expected to win this game as they were last time. Let's see if they can do it again. This one fouled back into the caging behind home plate, and we are off. And it's the way Casey Robinson would like it to be. 0-1 the count. Casey Robinson, really an all-around type of pitcher. He's really able to handle counts well when he's behind, when he's in front. And in high-pressure situations, he's proven himself there as well. That pitch upstairs, 2-1. But, for example, against the Medina Battling Bees, we saw bases loaded, no outs, for the Bees. He came in, that pitch upstairs, 3-1. He came in and he struck out back-to-back-to-back batters to end the inning. Bases loaded, no outs. The Bees did go on to win that game. That pitch was in there. And that wasn't exactly too, how should I say this? It wasn't too surprising. It was the expected result. Right now, here in the district, that one fouled back into the cage. Right now in the district, I believe Medina is seeded 6th. Shaker is 19th. That's why they have the home field advantage against number 20 Normandy. We're going to do it again with another payoff pitch. That'll be payoff pitch number 2 after the last one was fouled back. Here it comes. This one's skied up. Will this be out of play? It looks like it will be. Over to the right side. There you go. The defensive lineup behind Casey Robinson. We have Fogarty out in left. We have Tegan out in center. Over in right field, we're getting Cole Klein, number 3. In the infield, Will Berglund's back over at first. Not exactly how we expected it to turn out because he's been over at third a lot. This one's sent over to the right side. Cole Klein makes a leaping grab. Big first out for the Red Raiders. He's going to get appreciation from Will Tegan as he makes the leaping catch for out number 1 of the ballgame. Good signs of defense for Shaker. And that's what you really need because Shaker, over the past 4 games before the Lakewood game, Shaker lost to Lakewood in that last game, that pitch in there for strike 1. They had a streak of 4 games with 25 defensive errors. And you know, it's bad when Will Tegan gets an error in one of those games as well. But yeah, 4 games, 25 errors. I mean, if you do the math, this one's sent over off the glove of OHSAA Howard. Not much he could do about that. And so it'll be Wolf on at first with the 1-out single. So there you go. Shaker has 1 guy on first to now think about. Looks like women's lacrosse is getting set behind me. Not sure. Might just be a practice. I believe that is the case, considering the rest of the field is currently occupied as well for other practices. Sabin now the batter. But yeah, Peyton Wolf, the last batter that just got on and is standing off of first as we speak, he's really a guy to watch out for. That pitch misses inside. But he's really the guy you got to watch out for. We weren't expecting, or at least head coach Stephen English wasn't expecting him to be the starter on the mound. The reason, the kid's a freshman. In your first game, that one fouled over to the right side. In your first game of the postseason, no matter what, whether it's a team you know you're going to beat, it's just not a usual thing to throw out your freshman guy who isn't your number 1 guy. So I'm not exactly sure of the thinking behind this team of orange and black. That one misses for ball 2. 2-2 is your count. 1 away. And here's the pickoff attempt over at first. Wolf back in safely on a dive. Now, don't get me wrong. Wolf is a talented player. And you can see that also by his hitting. He's got a lot of base hits. I believe he's batting over 320. But it's just, for the sake of pitching, just the odd choice to make. Regardless of who's next in that lineup. That was ball 3. Here's another payoff. This one sent over to the right side. Will that drop fair? It will not. Just over to the right of the first base line. That'll get down out of play. So, that was close. We're back to a countdown pitch. Once again, 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Again, our apologies for any technical difficulties we're facing right now. I'm not sure how this is looking on camera, but yeah, this is typically not our setup. But there you go, strike 3 called as Casey Robinson racks up his first K of what could be plenty in Casey Robinson's outing. Pitch 17 gets him for strike 11, strikeout number 1. 2 away, 1 on for the Normandy Invaders offense. Hinkle is now up. That pitch, I believe, missed the mark. That's going to be ball one. Also, catching the balls and strikes for Casey Robinson is Quentin Garnett. And in the infield, you're seeing Will Berglund at first. Here's the pitch. That one fouled over to the left side. It's going to be over to that Red Raider dugout side. Over at second, we're seeing O'Shea Howard. At shortstop, Brett Moore, of course. And then over at third, we're seeing Sam Luther. Now, Sam Luther, he was out of practice yesterday, and I believe it was due to some testing. So coaches weren't 100% positive he was to be in the starting lineup. This one sent over to the left side. It's going to be foul, just to the left of that bullpen over there. But yeah, wasn't 100% sure he'd be in the lineup, but once they knew he'd be good to go today, and once you really look at how Sam Luther's fielding percentage also holds up to a lot of the other infielders available, it might just be your move. I believe his fielding percentage is .929. Behind him would be Malachi Kranz, who I believe is around the 800s. That one was fouled back once again, so we're going to do it once again at 1-2 strikes. 2 outs. Wolf is off of first. They're trying to strike early. That Invader squad. Here's the pitch. That one just off the plate. And so here might be an early bit of struggle from Casey Robinson. His pitch count already quite high. This has been a longer inning. That was pitch 22. Here's 23. This one's skied up. This should be a good out. Brett Moore calling off everyone, and the shortstop makes the grab for out number 3. So it might have been a bunch of pitches. Again, that's 23. 15 hitting the strike zone, so he's attacking the hitters well, but just a pretty high pitch count. I believe in relief we're going to be seeing Fogarty if it gets to that point. But Robinson is through 1. He got 1 strikeout. He did leave 1 guy on of the Invaders offense. That was Peyton Wolf, and I believe we're going to be seeing Wolf up on the mound. We'll get that confirmed for you once 1 guy of the Invaders gets their warm-up pitches. Thank you very much for tuning in. My name is Vaughn Ullum here with the call of a good old round 1 postseason game of the OHSAA tournament. We'll be right back for the bottom of the first. So it was a longer inning for a shutout inning. Again, 23 pitches for Casey Robinson, but nothing too concerning just yet. Keep in mind, he attacked the hitters well. 23 pitches, 15 strikes, 4 batters faced, 1 guy left on. So Shaker's offense is going to come up now. and we'll see what they have. They were off to a rough start at the very, very beginning, but after those 7 runs came across for Normandy in last game, after that, they were able to get clicking. This one fouled back. Quentin Garnett was the starting pitcher of that game. Again, he only lasted 2 innings, and he was pulled for Andrew Fogarty. However, Garnett hitting, he's been really, really doing well out there in the batter's box. There he'll take ball 1. But Garnett lately, he's been hitting .318. And last game actually ended his hitting streak. He had 3 games. This one sent over to the third baseman. He handles the, oh, what a throw across the diamond. That was speedy. It was straight. So watch out for that third baseman, Sabin. Over, yeah, wow. That was just a great throw over there across the turf. Or excuse me, across the field. This is not turf. Winner of this one goes to Westlake for the second round. It would be an underdog matchup for either of these teams in that next game. This one fouled over to the Red Raider dugout side. But yeah, whoever's winning this one, they will be taking on the Demons over on that west side. But for now, it's about winning this game first. Again, Shaker, they're supposed to win this game. However, we saw how that last game turned out. They were down 7-0. I'm not sure there was much hope at that point when they were down by 7. However, they just crawled back. They didn't get it all back at once. As, yeah, they actually, let me double check on this. The wind messing up my papers a little bit. But, yeah, they got 3 runs in the 3rd inning, 3 runs in the 4th, then 1 in the 5th. Then it was a tense tied ball game at 7 from innings 6 through 8. And then finally it was Nate Landever to get the walk-off hit to bring Berglund home from 3rd in the 9th. That pitch was off the mark. That'll be a ball to Will Tagan. Thank you very much for tuning in. My name is Vaughn Ullum here with the call. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs to Tagan. He's also been batting very, very well. This one back to the glove of Wolf. Here's the throw on to first, on target in time for out number 2. Behind me, again, we're getting a lot of practice going, a lot of movement on the track. And, of course, we have the women's lacrosse team over here to my left, to the left side of the 50-yard line from these away bleachers. And then to the right, not exactly sure what kind of practice this is. I think it's just kind of a free-for-all practice. Not sure if these are the rugby squads or what. But yeah, Tagan with the ground out. That's going to bring up Will Berglund up in the 3 spot. And let's see what the power guy has right here. That pitch upstairs. 2 outs. Will Berglund took that one up high for a ball. Looks like after all we're going to get is 1 inning of technical difficulty. Going to shout out my mom for this one. Thank you very much for joining us. Megan Albin, the hero of the game. And so, yeah, after this one, we're going to throw this stuff back on the tripod as we usually get it. Three balls, 1 strike. He took that last one right down the heart because you're not really going to typically swing at a 3-0, but there is ball 4. So he'll get a 5-pitch walk and take first. So, runner on first, 2 away. Can Shaker get a 2-out rally started? Well, we got the power hitter. It's just a matter of whether he can put bat on ball. He's only got 6 hits from the season. That pickoff attempt unsuccessful. But, yeah, all of the starters, they were all feeding off of one another, and every single one of the starters got a hit except for one guy, and it was Braden White. This one fouled back. However, he said to me before this game, he said he is looking for the revenge game here against this team of Orange and black. So let's see what he's got in him. Let's see if he makes that a reality. Braden White, always a guy with power. Of those 6 hits, he's got 3 home runs, so he's got a 50% rate of sending it over the wall. And that's always lovely to say, but it's just not as exciting when you're batting 130. Here's the pitch. That one down low. It's going to get away. Berglund taking second. And runner in scoring position now for Braden White with 2 away. The count 1-1 with 1 guy on. And now let's see what the junior can do in what has become a bit more of a tense situation right here. Next pitch to White. This one's skied up. This is over to the right side. Right fielder under it. He'll make the grab. And that's out number 3. So, after 1 inning, 0-0 is your score here in round 1 of the OHSAA baseball postseason. Shaker taking on the Normandy Invaders. The Red Raider defense back out, and that means the sophomore Casey Robinson back out to the mound. Thank you very much for tuning in. My name is Vaughn Ullum, here with the call from the Shaker Heights High School baseball field. And we're back. Again, we just figured out our setup. Again, shout out to Megan Albin for getting us that final piece we needed to put this one back up on a tripod and just get our setup a little more stable. Here's the pitch from Casey Robinson, outside and low for a ball. Shaker looking for their first win in a minute. It has been since May 1st since they got a victory. That came against Cleveland Heights, and that game was much too close for comfort. That was 4-3, walking it off in the final inning. That pitch in there for a strike. 0-0 your score as we enter into inning number 2. Casey Robinson up to 27 pitches, 3 balls, 1 strike. Here's the pitch. That's ball 4. So, Normandy, they've been working the counts well. And, I mean, they've been fighting off pitches already. And this early in the game, not even once through the order. Right there, that was batter number 5. This one grounded over to Brett Moore. He'll throw on a second. O'Shea Howard trying to turn 2. Does he get it? He does not. Beating it out over at first was Montgomery. Montgomery in last game, Gabe Montgomery that is, he split the game with Purdue. Samantha Purdue had the start. She only pitched 4 innings. After that, it was Gabe Montgomery. It was technically Purdue, the losing pitcher. This one skied up and caught by Cole Klein over in right field. Keeps the runner over at first, but gets another out for the Red Raider defense behind Casey Robinson. So Robinson back to the mound in a little bit more comfort. Robinson to 31 pitches. Or excuse me, to 30 pitches. Here's 31. That one, oh, whoa. Shock that miss. Maybe even see Brett Moore's look that time. He was just a bit surprised. And that next pitch, I believe, missed as well. So, we're scoreless. So far, Shaker and Normandy, they both got a base runner in the last inning. Right now, Normandy has got another runner on first in the form of Montgomery, but they haven't really been able to advance anyone from second or to second just yet. Next pitch from the lefty, and this one fouled back once again. That's strike two. 2-2 the count. Shaker, yeah, as I said, they've lost 5 straight. They were doing really well in the state of Ohio. They were 9-7, but then with those 5 straight losses, that went all the way from 9-7 to 9-12. Overall, they got a record of 10-16 with 1 win in San Diego, but 3 losses in San Diego and 1 loss in Pennsylvania. That came against North Allegheny at the end of April. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. The payoff pitch will be making its way. Here it comes. And this one skied up. This one into left field. Fogarty calling off everyone, making the grab with the left glove. That's out number 3. So same kind of thing we saw last inning. However, less of a pitch count. 36 pitches is what Casey Robinson's up to. 21 strikes. And they leave 1 runner on. So Shaker's offense just wants to get clicking now. Due up for that offense going to be OHSAA Howard, Cole Klein, and Brett Moore. 2 infielders and an outfield. We'll see what they got when we come back here in round 1 of the postseason. Shaker versus the Normandy Invaders. We'll be back for the call of the bottom of the second inning. And we're back here for round 1 of the postseason. Shaker with a 5-game losing streak. However, last time against this Normandy squad, they beat them 8-7. It was a cold, cold day. That broadcast, it was a windy one as well. That our setup continued to fall over and over again. That one missing the mark for ball 1. 0-0 is your score here against the Normandy Invaders. Next pitch down low as well. That's going to be ball 2. Or excuse me, that last one didn't miss the mark. It was strike 1. 1-1 the count. Peyton Wolf, your pitcher for Normandy. It's Wolf against Robinson. And next pitch, I believe, cut on and missed, if I'm not mistaken. The way, look at that one. Yeah, and indeed so. That was strike 2 swinging. 1-2 the count. Here's the 2-strike pitch. This one sent over to the shortstop. Hinkle struggles with it. The third baseman, Saban, was coming over as well, but that'll be error number 1 for Normandy, and they're even up at an error apiece. And now we're hearing party in the USA. You know what that means. That's going to be Cole Klein up in the left-handed hitter's box. Pickoff attempt over at first. It's OHSAA Howard back in safely. But yeah, the interesting thing, again, we're having Wolf on the mound. We were actually expecting this kid out in center field to be the pitcher. At least that was what head coach Stephen English was thinking. We were expecting that one is in there for a strike. That'll be strike two. We were expecting Nate Hinkle to be the pitcher, but no. He's out here in center field with Gray over in left and Montgomery over in right. Next pitch, and that's going to run in and get him. Saw that against Lakewood as well. And so it's not always a fun way to take a base, but if it works, I mean, you're going to take it. Next up would be Brett Moore, and here he comes. Cole Klein standing off of first, Howard off of second. Two guys on, nobody out, one of those guys in scoring position. Brett Moore looking for an RBI knock here in his first plate appearance. Brett Moore, a right-handed hitter at short here today, batting .214. First pitch to him, and he was showing bunt, and he held it there. However, the ball just got away from him as well. That's going to be strike number one. And we'll see that third baseman playing in a lot more, Sabin, playing a lot more in than you would typically see. So are some of the outfielders as well, typically Hinkle over at center. Good bunt by Brett Moore. That one continues to go down the line. Was it foul? It looks like it just was. Wow. That was close. Great bunt by Brett Moore. If it only just stayed fair, however, it did not. So, do it again. Except he won't do it again with the bunt. But what we are going to do is a 2-strike count. No balls to Brett Moore. But yeah, you're not going to bunt again, because if it's foul, well, there's a strikeout. That one down low, it's going to be ball one. Skies covering this one. Not exactly a cold day, however. It's just still a lovely day for baseball. Pretty warm. This one sent over to the right side. Will that get down? It will! Howard rounding third. He's going to score. Cole Klein making his way to third. And Brett Moore sliding into second. A big RBI double for the shortstop, Brett Moore, and Shaker is on the board, leading here in the postseason. Big RBI knock for Brett Moore. He'll stand on second with Cole Klein over at third. Two guys in scoring position. Still nobody out. So that brings us to Sam Luther. He'll take pitch number one for a ball. And again, Sam Luther wasn't at practice yesterday due to testing, so we're just hoping he's not at all rusty by any means. This one low and in tight. But yeah, Sam Luther, he wasn't a starter in that Lakewood game, but he did come in later for one plate appearance out, and he just walked. And that was actually a pretty solid plate appearance from him. That walk was pretty huge. There's ball two to him. We'll see. Could he draw another walk? Next pitch. This one cut on sent up the middle. No! The shortstop gets there. The second baseman gets there. That throw gets away from the catcher. In to score was Cole Klein. Luther going to take second. The second baseman, Morris, threw that one to the catcher, Vargo. Vargo couldn't handle it. And we go to the bottom of the order in the form of Andrew Fogarty. What a start here to this bottom of the second. 2 runs have already scored. 2 runners are in scoring position. Nobody out. Luther on second. Moore on third. Up is the left-handed hitter, Fogarty. What has he got in him? Fogarty, he started off incredibly slow. He was 0 for 20-something, but he keeps doing this. He'll score 1, and runners will be at the corners as Luther takes third. Another RBI single for Shaker. That makes it 3-0. 3 straight runs, still nobody out here in this inning. But Shaker is red hot right now, and that extends Fogarty's hitting streak to that's 4 now after not being able to get a hit till May 3rd. He's found his groove. 3-0 the score. Runners at the corners. Nobody out in the bottom of the second. Woo-wee! What now? Already a quick mound visit. Feels quite early for that, but it looks like we already might be getting a move from that guy Hinkle out here in center. Is he now going to take them out? It feels a little late to now throw in your ace guy. As we mentioned, like whether or not you're expected to win a game like Shaker, they were able to beat him last time with a pitcher that isn't typically a pitcher. But that doesn't mean you're just going to do that again because you beat him last time. If it's the postseason, you throw in your number 1 guy in the number 1 game. That's just how you got to play it here in the tough positions. And it looks like we're going to get that substitution. So we're going to step aside. We're going to give him time for the warm-up pitches. What a hot start here to the bottom of the second. Still nobody out. 3-0 is the score. Shaker leading with runners at the corners. And that means we're back to the top of the order as well after Fogarty got the hit. Quentin Garnett will be due up in just a moment. My name is Vaughn Ullum here with the call. Happy to be calling this one. It's a good start for Shaker. We'll be right back. And we're back to it. What we got now is a kid named Braden Gray. Gray, number 19, the senior, pitching with his right hand. But again, it just feels a little late. I mean, again, you're starting a freshman on the mound. He's now out and left, may I say. There, Garnett checked his swing. It's going to be strike 1 anyway. But yeah, Wolf now out and left. The left-handed pitcher was your starter, but not anymore. That one missing the mark. That's going to be ball 1. We're evened up. Garnett 0 for 1 to begin his day. One time through the order, Shaker without any strikeouts, and that's just not the usual occurrence. However, Shaker's been cleaning it up in a couple different aspects. One has been strikeouts, and that last game was a real turnaround. Only 1 error for Shaker in that last game when for the last 4 games before that, there were 25 errors. And I mean, that is just incredibly poor performance from any defense. That pitch cut on, fouled back into the caging. Got actually a hefty amount of spectators, and I assume this is for both sides. The difference now is in the OHSAA postseason, you got to pay, and that's why I'm actually particularly surprised that we're getting this many spectators at the ball game. Normally, money would turn people away, but I guess the postseason drew more people than it actually did take away. So that's always nice. Two strikes to Quentin Garnett. And the last pitch missed. That means ball 3. Here's a payoff pitch. Runners at the corners. This one sent up the middle off the glove of Gray. He handles now the throw on the first. There's out number 1. And a big out number 1 if you are that Braden Gray. So Fogarty moves up to second. He was already stealing on the payoff pitch. And over at third remains Sam Luther. Shaker so far, only 2 hits. We already have 2 errors for Normandy. And that just never helps your cause. The interesting thing, Wolf has only allowed, of the 3 runs he allowed, only 1 of them was earned. This one off the mark. So it's not all that guy over now at left field. It's not all Peyton Wolf. You can't just blame him. Sometimes you just got to let him stay out there and continue to pitch, because this performance will probably hurt his confidence moving forward. 3-0 your score. Shaker Heights leading. Here's the pitch. This one's sent over to the right side. That's going to get down. That'll score 1, but probably 2. Fogarty rounds third. There's the second run here on the double from Will Tagan. A 1-out, 2 RBI double makes it 5-0. And Shaker's offense has been laying it on this Invader squad here in the bottom of the second. Hit number 3. And now if you're an Invader player, it's always going to be tough in this position, but you just got to keep your head up and just continue to try and make plays. You got to get your pitcher out of this inning now. However, another guy's in scoring position, but you just got to try. When you get your offense back up there, you got to hit like you did against Garnett in those first couple of innings last time around. Next pitch, this one's skied up, and that one looks like it's going to be foul over to On-Away Road behind home plate. 5-0, Shaker leading against what is now the second pitcher for the Normandy Invaders. It was Wolf to start. Gray is now in, and he's already pitched 10 pitches and has so far only got 1 out while letting 2 come across, neither of which were exactly his fault. This one's sent over to the shortstop. He's going to throw it over to third, so Tagan's caught up in a rundown, and so he makes his way over to third. And will he outrun him? Looks like he could not do so. Berglund making his way back to first. No one was covering, so it was easy for him at least to get back. However, Tagan going to be out as he couldn't beat out the third baseman and make his way back to second. So there's out number 2. It's going to be marked as a fielder's choice for out number 2, but don't worry, Shaker's still up by 5. This has already been a longer affair. Not even through 2 innings yet. Almost hitting the 40-minute mark. Here's Braden White, 0 for 1 to begin his day. Berglund's over off of first. Here's the throw back in. Surprised Berglund didn't dive for that one. He was back in standing, but it was an odd little kick of the leg to get him back in. But anyway, maybe you just don't want to get your jersey dirty. Next pitch, Braden White sends this over to the right side. Second baseman handles the throw on the first, and an easy ground out will be out number 3. But the damage is done. I mean, Wolf came in, gave up 3 in the bottom of the second, then came in Gray, and he didn't have too much success in stopping those couple of runs in scoring position from coming across. It's going to be 5 runs allowed under Wolf. At least that's how it's scored. Only 1 of which was earned because Normandy's defense has already got 2 errors. And so, yeah, only 3 hits in total for Shaker and 2 errors for Normandy. But that'll bring the Red Raider defense back out. Casey Robinson's back out. Shaker should be feeling good now. They've got some run support behind their number one guy. And I'm not saying they're in cruise control, but they're in a good spot, at least for the time being. The lefty back to the mound. We'll be right back for the call of the third. My name is Vaughn Ullum here with the call. Thanks for tuning in. That was actually a really short break. So we're right back here for the third. Shaker now up by 5. And this is just something that Casey Robinson isn't too familiar with. Something called run support. And he just, again, he's the number one guy, always facing the number one guy of the other school. So it's just always tough for him to it's always hard to get a shutout, but it always feels like Shaker's offense gets shut out whenever Robinson is on the mound. However, if you just watched that last inning, well, that's just not the case. Messina, here in the top of the third with 2 strikes on him, he's going to pop this one foul behind home plate over near Onaway Road, so it looks like one of the Red Raider guys in the dugout going to track that one down. Shaker in the red caps, red jerseys, white pants over for Normandy. It's their all-black look, and it's a sleek look, don't get me wrong. It's something like what you see from schools like, there's strike 3 called. I know he interrupted my thought, but there you go. Beauty of a K from Casey Robinson. He'll get out number 1 here in the top of the third. What was I saying? Oh, yeah, that's right. It's a nice look for Normandy. The black uniforms, all black, may I add. The black caps, black jerseys, black pants, which that is more so of a rare occurrence than anything else. You don't see a lot of schools with anything other than white pants. That one, did that miss the mark? Not sure where that would have missed if it did. Didn't exactly see the hand motion. Let me just get confirmation on that. And yeah, I just didn't see the motion. That was a strike. I believe that next one made it there as well. 1 out to Hinkle. 2 strikes already. Here comes. Swing and a miss. 3 pitches, 3 strikes. Down goes Hinkle, who's now 0 for 2. Beauty of a K from Robinson. You can't get more efficient with a strikeout than that. 3 pitches, 3 strikes. I mean, come on now. That'll bring up Peyton Wolf. He'll sky this one over to center field. Taken under it. An efficient inning from Casey Robinson. Man, what a start for Shaker. And it's just big because of that last bottom of the second. We'll see if Shaker can keep piling this one on. They are up by 5 as we make our way to the bottom of the third. Thank you very much for tuning in. My name is Vaughn Ullum, here with the call of the game. It's always a better atmosphere here for a playoff game, but it's always a lovelier atmosphere when you're winning. Shaker up 5-0 here as we enter into the bottom of the third inning. And Shaker looks to pile it on here with OHSAA Howard due up first. Behind him, Klein and Moore. Here's the pitch. And OHSAA Howard skies this one. Maybe that touched one of the clouds. This one's going to make its way over to the right side and foul out of play. Behind me here at the Russell H. Rupp Field, practice is still going. Just some guys throwing the football on one half of the field. On the other half, we're getting a lot of women's lacrosse practice. They're looking good, probably set for a postseason run themselves. 2 strikes to OHSAA Howard after the swing and miss. This one upstairs. Ooh, that was close. That was a tough take. No matter who you are, that pitch location, that's tough to lay off. And now here's the 1-2. That one down low. That was an easier take, but still not exactly the easiest of the bunch. Shaker looking for their first win in 5 games. They've lost 5 straight. And yeah, that comes firstly from Brunswick in May 2nd. Then they dropped one to US. That was a beauty of a game. Called strike 3 against OHSAA Howard. It's the first K for the Invaders pitchers. And down goes the first guy here in the bottom of the 3rd. That's going to bring up Cole Klein. You can tell by Party in the USA by Miley Cyrus playing. There, a swing and a miss from Klein. Wearing number 3 on the back of his jersey. Looking for, however, hit number 4 for this Shaker squad. 0-1 the count with 1 away. That pitch just misses. That was a good take. Some of the Shaker batters yesterday, and that actually includes this Cole Klein, they were working on tracking, and so some of them were saying yes and no with one of their coaches, and I believe that was assistant coach Joe Welsh. That one taken, just barely inside, I believe. But, yeah, you would say yes if you were going to take your swing at that. You would say no if you weren't going to take your swing at that. And that's just a good way to get your plate discipline down. And they were facing the best pitchers of the Shaker squad. That one fouled back. Everyone watch your car. That one will hit off on away road to the left of the 3rd base line. That'll even up our count. We're at 2-2 with 1 out after the OHSAA Howard K. Here's the kick and pitch from Braden Gray. A swing and a miss. He'll get another on the foul tip back into the glove of Vargo. 2 away on 2 back-to-back Ks. And that'll bring Brett Moore up, looking to avoid being victim number 3 in the bottom of inning number 3. It's getting a little chillier, nothing serious. Again, not a lot of sun to back up the temperature out here under the clouds of the Shaker Heights High School baseball field. Gray to 23 pitches. That 23rd was ball 1 in the first pitch of the at-bat to the shortstop. That next pitch, that'll miss again, I believe, upstairs. Moore 1 for 1 with an RBI double his first time up, and he later came across to score. So it's just 1 all across the board if you look at the box score. 1 at-bat, 1 run, 1 hit, 1 RBI. And next one in there for strike 1. That's one we're actually not going to want to see, that number 1 up there. It's not the strikeout. Here's the 2-1. That one in tight. Good take by Moore. Looking for the 2nd Red Raider walk. It was Berglund to get his walk earlier. He's 0 for 1, but yeah, when you get on base, it feels more like a 1 for 2. You just want to give the batter a little bit of that credit. That pitch down low, ball 4 on a 5-pitch walk. He'll take first with 2 outs. Brett Moore has some speed behind him. We'll see if he could be a threat to take 2nd. But in this kind of position, we'll see. Sam Luther, 0 for 1. but he did come across to score later as he reached on an error. First pitch to him, cut on, missed. Shaker up 5-0. Thank you very much for joining us here under the gray clouds of a round one postseason game between the Normandy Invaders and the Shakerites Red Raiders. Shaker, the home team, having their first home playoff game since 2018. This one sent up the middle. Did he step on second? It looked like he didn't, so either throw on to first. That's going to be in time for out number 3. Didn't matter how he got it. It's just whether or not he got that third out, and that he did. So that will leave Brett Moore on as out number 3 is gotten. And the Red Raider defense back out with Casey Robinson trying to represent his squad on the mound. So far, pitching a shutout. Let's see if he can keep it going as we enter into the middle inning, inning number 4. Shaker up 5. Let's see if they can keep it up. Thanks for joining. My name is Vaughn Ullum here with the call at the Shakerites High School baseball field. Casey Robinson back to the bump. Looking for another scoreless inning for the Normandy Invaders offense, but Normandy obviously not going to look for the same kind of goal. That first one in there for strike 1. Bit of wind coming in, nothing serious. Coming from behind me, so that's going to be blowing in from the left field wall. That one missing? I get that right? Not exactly sure I saw the umpire motion that time. Not exactly sure where that one's going to miss, but looks like that was the case. 1-1. That last one I think was in there. And Casey Robinson nearing pitch number 50. That was just 47, 48, making its way now. Excuse me, that last one missed the mark for ball 2. There's ball 3 on the pitch up high for 48. Shaker up 5-0. They've got 3 hits. They're keeping Normandy hitless so far. That one missing the mark. It's going to be a walk. That time for Saban. That's going to be the second walk issued by Robinson. He's K'd 3. But yeah, you always want to keep them no hit for as long as you can. That one missing the mark. It's going to be ball 1. That was pitch number 50. Here's 51. There, a big swing and a miss. So, now we've got 51 pitches, 31 strikes from Robinson with the 3 Ks included, but those 2 walks included as well. Can't forget that one. Hinkle up to the plate. Number 11 here today, the center fielder batting left. Here's the next pitch. This one's skied up. This one either for the center fielder or right fielder. It'll be Tegan calling off Klein, and actually Howard for that matter. He was making his way back from the infield dirt. But regardless, Tegan with the grab for out number 1. 1 man on, 1 man out, and the top of the 4th. And Casey Robinson continues to pitch well. Let's see if he can keep this going through 4. Next pitch, in tight. That'll be ball 1. It's always a better type of game when there's a little less tension. And, I mean, don't get me wrong. There's so much exciting about a comeback win in that game. That one in there, a strike. There was so much exciting about that victory against Normandy. I mean, coming back 7-0 and winning it 8-7. I mean, that's just remarkable. But there's always just a different kind of happiness when you're up instead 5-0 early on in the game, and you're not needing to crawl on back. Nice pitch. This one sent over to OHSAA Howard. He's going to let this one fall. Sends it to second. He'll get the force over to Brett Moore, who was covering. So that's out number 2. First pitch of a new at-bat, I believe, in there for a strike. Montgomery, Gabe Montgomery, that is. He is 0 for 1 to begin his day. And indeed, that was strike 1. And next pitch, woo, much too in tight. 57 pitches. Here's pitch 58. And this one lined, and that's going to be the first hit for Normandy. Tegan going to pick it up and send this one in. And there you go. Could Normandy have something cooking? They got 2 outs on them, but a guy in scoring position for the first time tonight. Almost halfway through it. Casey Robinson so close to actually keeping it no hit through halfway, but no longer. Shaker with 1 error, Normandy with 2. Shaker's 1 error was on OHSAA Howard. This one a swing and miss. He went fishing down low for that one. So Robinson's pitch count, it hasn't been too great, but it hasn't been too bad either. Next pitch, that one, ooh, missing. And it looks like Brett Moore was looking back to his outfielders, wondering what he's seeing. He thought that one was definitely in there, however, just not the case. Here's the pitch from Robinson. After the check over at second, that one missing. That one's a lot more understandable as it misses off the plate. For ball 2. 2-1 the count. 2 guys on, 1 in scoring position with 2 outs. Shaker leading by 5. And here's the 2-1. Then this one sent our way over to our left side. Tegan with the catch, and he'll hustle his way back to the dugout. As we are halfway through this one, Shaker, they've got 12 more outs. However, on the other end, Normandy only with 9, and they've got 5 more runs to just tie this one if they can. But Casey Robinson pitching well on the mound. He's only given up a hit and 2 walks. We'll see if he can keep that up as Shaker's offense looks to keep on bringing some runs behind him. Thank you very much for tuning in. As mentioned, Shaker up 5-0. We'll be right back for the call of the bottom of the 4th. And we are to the bottom of the order, and Andrew Fogarty, and He's got the same kind of box score as Brett Moore, except Brett Moore has a walk to his name. He's got all ones filled out except for the strikeouts, and that's what you want to see for 2 at-bats. He's been on twice. Fogarty, all ones except for walks and strikeouts because, well, he's only had 2 plate appearances. Let's see if he can draw a walk or maybe even better, get a big knock to lead off this bottom of the 4th. We're midway through this one. Fogarty got a hit his first time up, and it was a pretty good one at that. He got an RBI, later come across to score. This one foul. Thought that one was foul anyway, but he realized it dropped in front of him. But eventually it did make its way to the right, and it was ruled foul. That'll go for strike 1. Fogarty, as mentioned, he was off to one slow start, but he's been inching back more and more. He's gotten a hit in his last 3, now 4 games, so he's got a hit streak as long as the jersey number, That one missing for a ball. 1-1 the count, nobody out. Fogarty is the first guy due up here in the bottom of the middle inning. Next pitch. This one's sent over to the left side. A hot shot off the bat. It'll make its way past the batting cage and out of play. That'll go for strike 2. Fogarty has this season, he's struck out 14 times. He has walked 6 times. So he's, as said, he's only been hitting now for 4 games, but he has walked throughout the season. It just has been more rare than not. Here's the slow 1-2 pitch. Oh, whoa. Is that a cold strike 3? Fogarty can't believe it. Looked a little bit under the zone, but no. Guess it just nabbed the bottom half. And yeah, I actually just got a complaint out here from the center fielder. Not liking the umpire in today's game. You can see it from almost every guy in the field. A lot of these pitches have really been quite controversial. That first pitch missed for ball 1. Garnett 0 for 2, a rare occurrence for the kid. Looking to end that here. That next one, ball 2. Those weren't exactly 2 deniable pitches. 5-0 the score. Shaker Heights leading. Leading hits 3-1. Only got 1 error. Normandy with 2. Next kick and pitch from the right-handed dealer. This one's sent up and into right field. And the right fielder, Montgomery, going to handle that one with ease. So Garnett 0 for 3 to begin the day. Again, not exactly the typical occurrence, but I don't know. Again, Shaker with only 3 hits. It hasn't been anything too crazy for Shaker's offense. In the last game against Normandy, they had 14 hits. That pitch up high. And as mentioned, that was a day when just everyone was clicking. Everyone got a hit at one point in the game. Or may I say every starter got a hit at some point in the game except for one guy, and that was Braden White. Next pitch. Swing and a miss from Tegan. That'll be strike 1 to him. 1-1 the count. Tegan 1 for 2 with a 2 RBI double in that second inning when we got all of our offense here today. Next pitch missed. Shaker's offense keeping vocal. You can hear it from here. Looks like we're actually getting Wesley Lewis warmed up in the pen. And with a lead right now, and Tegan blasts this one into center. We'll see the center fielder. That was hot off the bat, but the center fielder ranges back. Hinkle with the grab, and that is out number 3 here in the bottom of the 4th. So far, nothing too crazy. Let me step in front of the camera here because now I'm able to. So Shaker here today their offense hasn't been anything too crazy. Again, in the last game against Normandy, they had those they had plenty of hits and I'm just fixing my camera here. They had plenty of hits and again, all but one starter got a hit in that game. Right now, only 3. Of course, they got a couple walks as well, but yeah, Shaker really clicked in the bottom of the second. Other than that, there's no offense to talk about. But luckily for Shaker, it was a big inning. It wasn't one run that was scored in an inning, and that's all they're hanging on to. No, it's 5 runs, and that took their starter out early, so that might hurt his confidence moving forward into a postseason run that they were hoping for. But regardless, they're really just holding on to the hopes of a postseason run because they got 9 outs to work with, 5 runs to get back. And it's going to be tough for them to do so against the ace of this Shaker squad. So Casey Robinson still on the mound, looking to do some damage. Quentin Garnett catching the balls and strikes. The defense behind Robinson and just overall behind Zach Barrett and Fogarty yesterday, they've been doing a lot better on defense. But thank you very much for tuning in. My name is Vaughn Ullum. We're going to send you right back to the field for the call at the top of the 5th. Robinson, number 5 on the back of his jersey. He's only allowed a single hit and 2 walks. That one missed in tight. Normandy with 2 errors, Shaker with 1. It's just not a typical occurrence that Shaker has been out-errored in a game. That one in there for a strike. Actually, that was strike 2. Excuse me. But yeah, so far a gem of an outing for Robinson. This next one's sent over to the left side, and I jinxed it. My apologies. That one lined right past Brett Moore. That's going to be hit number 2. One more hit, and they're actually tied in the category, but definitely not tied in runs. So with Messina on first, it just is always a little more tense. That's the first time a leadoff guy has gotten a hit to get on for Normandy here today. Excuse me, that was not Messina. Vargo is over at first. Messina now the batter. That pitch up high. 1-1 the count. Robinson looking cool out there. He's looking under control. There's the pickoff attempt. Vargo is back in safely on a dive. But yeah, Shaker just looks very much under control in this game. The defense looks like they know what they're doing. They're a big swing and miss. It's going to be strike 2. But they just are seeming very, very comfortable in this position. And that's never easy. Coming into a postseason game here at home, you know you got a reputation among the fans. This one's skied up. This could be an out for Garnett, and indeed it will be as he catches it behind home plate in foul territory. There's out number 1. It's always a big one when you got that leadoff guy on over at first. So Shaker up 5-0 here at home in, again, what is their first home playoff game since 2018. And that may not seem like that long, but in the OHSAA, when you're always making it to the postseason no matter what, it's just a little surprising. And I'm not sure that's the same way for something like football, but I'm pretty sure for baseball, for as long as I've commentated, Shaker has always been making the postseason. That pickoff attempt brings Vargo back in safely. Again, Shaker up by 5. Lacrosse practice for the women's team continues over to my right. Robinson's next pitch, I believe, was ball 2, and yeah, indeed it was. That was pitch number 70 for Robinson, so we'll see if we indeed do get Wesley Lewis out there on the mound. Here's the next pitch from Robinson, a swing and a miss for strike 1. Big hack at it from Hinkle. And that's always just a good feeling out on the mound. I don't think there's ever been a pitcher that has had a that has really had a terrible feeling after a swing and miss. This one right past the glove of Sam Luther. So, well, even though Hinkle did get that big swing and miss, he comes right back with it and hits this one in play. So, two guys on with only one out to their name in the top of the fifth. It's Vargo off of second. It's Hinkle off of first. And now it looks like we're going to get a mound visit here. No changes are really expected here. Robinson's still standing upright. Doesn't look like anyone's following Coach out of the dugout either. This one, just a routine mound visit to try and get everything under control with now a runner in scoring position and an out. Now, English actually motioned over to Andrew Fogarty. He might be motioning to him because he might be pitching later in this game. That was something that was mentioned to me by assistant coach Joe Welsh, and it's a good strategy to honestly, here in the OHSAA postseason, you've got 2 games a week. You got Tuesday and Thursday games. And that's always fun because it's always consistent. And so the next game after this one, or excuse me, after the next one after this is going to be Thursday. The one after that is going to be a week from today. So that's the next Tuesday. That one in there for a strike. And so if you've got a week to rest Casey Robinson till his next outing, you can pitch him already in, not next game, but the one right after that. This one grounded over to the right side. Berglund not able to handle. Now he'll recover and he'll step on first. That was close, but he does recover and get the second out. Shaker trying to preserve this shutout for Robinson, and though it may not mean he's going to go all the way, his pitch count already pretty up there. You always want to preserve the shutout for your number one guy, especially to just get him some confidence going into the postseason. But, yeah, if you got Fogg up behind Casey Robinson, that means, and Shaker has a 4-guy rotation. And it's not determined by skill. It doesn't mean the 4th guy, Andrew Fogarty, is worse than the others. That's not at all how it's laid out. Actually, if we organize it, all of their stats are a little all over the place. One has more walks than the rest of them, but a whole other guy is going to have a better ERA. It's just every single stat has been very different. This one grounded over to O'Shea Howard. The throw on the first, and they'll get out of the jam. They had 2 guys on with 1 away, but after the mound visit, it must have been an efficient one because Shaker was able to get out of it. Casey Robinson continues to pitch well. And the hits maybe even at 3, but my goodness, the score is quite different. Shaker up 5-0 here in their home playoff game in the first round of the OHSAA tournament. And yeah, we go to the middle of the 5th inning. In the bottom of the 5th, Shaker's offense looks to pile some more runs on. Let's see if they can. And we're back. Bottom of the 5th inning. Shaker up 5-0. Casey Robinson continues to pitch a shutout. And now we're going to get Will Berglund up to the right-handed batter's box. It's going to be Berglund, White, and Howard. I should now say Berglund's first name. It is going to be Will Berglund. No surprises there that Will Berglund. Oh my goodness, this one's crushed and it's coming our way. However, the center fielder under it thought that one would have a little more oomph under it. The way that Shaker's dugout was amped up after that contact. Thought that one had a little bit more pop, but maybe the wind got a piece of it as well. Again, the wind blowing in from left into home plate. So maybe that also got a piece of it. But that's out number one. One pitch, one out at the bottom of the 5th. So that brings up Braden White. Again, he went hitless in the last game against Normandy, trying to avoid that same kind of thing here. He's the designated hitter in today's game. You'll either see him in that spot or you'll see him behind the dish. Or you're actually maybe seeing him in front of the dish. That was a strike to him. 1 ball, 1 strike. But occasionally we've seen him as a pitcher. It has only happened twice, but it's happened. That one misses. That is a rough call. Not sure where that missed. And you could hear it all the way out here from the center fielder, yelling, "No way." And though the umpire probably didn't hear him, I believe there's just a tension from all these fielders because this umpire, I mean, maybe he's been consistent, but there's a phrase for this. It's called consistently inconsistent. Braden White taking some hacks out of the box. And as a coach, it's always rough because at this level, it's always tough to teach your hitters. This one fouled back into the caging, so we got a countdown in 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Payoff pitch upcoming. It's going to be 47 for Gray. But, I mean, it's always tough to teach hitters at this level to try to adapt to a strike zone of a specific umpire. It's just not easy to get that down. And yes, the best of hitters can. This one, a hot shot over to right. That one get down fair? Looks like it didn't. That was close. So we're going to do it again at 3-2, a full count and a payoff pitch. It's going to be payoff pitch number 2. But yeah, that's just always tough because as you're taught growing up that, well, you're taught this is a strike, this is a ball, but when you have an umpire that just isn't giving you the calls that you feel are right, that one ball 4. So Braden White does draw the walk, and of course that's not going to feel good for Gray, especially because some of those felt like they were in there, but oh well. Braden White going to be the first base runner here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Don't believe I finished up my thought of the top of the 5th inning. I was mentioning, so Shaker is trying to use their 1st and 4th guys in the rotation. It's a 4-guy rotation for Shaker. So they're trying to use their 1 and 4 guys in one game, and then for their Thursday game, they're going to try and keep 2 and 3 for that. And I think that's a perfect strategy if that's truly what they're going for. Here, White is going ahead to the dugout as he gets a pinch runner for him. Let's see who it is. It's going to be the senior Richard. He got some speed behind him, a slimmer build, but we see that from him and we see that from Crosby. And those are actually the 2 best guys to really throw out there. As yesterday, I was in the coach's box over to the left of the third base side. I was attending practice to see how the team was prepping for this playoff game. And my goodness, Nemo Crosby, when he rounds third, that man is bolting. He is fast. And I can totally understand now. At a distance, it doesn't seem as fast. But when he's going by you and the wind is blowing by you the way it is, my goodness, Nemo Crosby is a speed demon. That was ball 1 to O'Shea Howard. And then next pitch, was that a ball? Wow. And yeah, the outfielders over here still just shocked about it. And I don't know where you pitch it. Because I don't know where the strike zone is. And I'm not sure the pitcher knows where the strike zone is. On the 2-0, the pickoff attempt brings Richard back in the standing. But, yeah, you hear it from the center fielder. He's kind of heckling this umpire a little bit. Hinkle out here in center. He's just saying, like, just throw it down the middle at this point. And, I mean, there's nowhere else to go that you know you're going to get the most consistent call. That one's in tight to Howard. That's ball 3. 3-0. Or, excuse me, that was a strike. And he called that last one a ball. 2-1. And here's the pitch. That one in tight. That should be a ball. And I believe it will be. 3-1. Perhaps that last one could have been a makeup call. Of course, I'm not trying to be overly critical of these umpires. We've seen our fair share of great umpires. There was that one in Medina who I absolutely was very fond of. His calls were just authoritative. Whenever this one over foul, and he drops to his knees, Sicko, and can't make the grab for out number 2. That was close, but yeah, just can't do it. Just out of reach. So that'll be strike 2. We work our way back to a full count with 1 out. But yeah, that guy in Medina, that umpire he was just fun. Whenever there was a strike, my goodness, he was loud about it. And it was just fun. Whenever there was a strikeout, my goodness, decibel level was way up there when he made that call. As a hitter, you must have been furious when that was the call. Richard back in safely standing. So we've had our fair share because he was also a very consistent umpire. But also, we've seen our fair share of really rather unfortunate calls. Against University School, there was that one infield play. Here, Richard going to try and take second, and he will standing. Almost fell off the bag. And yes, Howard did strike out on the payoff pitch, but that was very close for Richard. Taken second, he almost just overran it and allowed the tag to be applied by the shortstop Hinkle. Oh well. By the way, we have 2 Hinkles. Don't know if I exactly clarified that. Hinkle over at shortstop is Nick. Over here in center field, that's where you're going to find Nate. So Nate and Nick are the 2 guys. That first pitch missed. It was ball 1. 2 away, 1 guy on in scoring position. This would be, if he comes across, it'd be our first run since the second inning. Only 5 runs have been scored in that second inning. No other offense to speak of. That pitch miss is pretty bad. That was off very much so. No question about that one. But you know what I always wondered about these outfielders? They're wearing eye black, and it could not be more of gray day. I know it's not raining. This one fouled over to the left side. I don't know if it's more of a style choice. I assume that's it. Maybe just look a bit more intimidating to your opponent. But I don't think you're going to lose a baseball up here in the sky. And, I mean, that's what eye black is for, is to try and help you see. 5-0. Yeah. What? 5th. Excuse me, just had to give a score report to the Lax team. Out here behind me. Now they're back to it in their practice. 3-1, here's the pitch. That one in tight, did it hit him again? And oh, Richard's going to take third as well. Took him a minute, but he finally bolted. And it's going to be runners at the corners. 2 gone. Bottom of the 5th. Can Shaker finally get a little bit more insurance? I know 5 seems like a solid amount of insurance, but I mean, if you're trying to follow like a team like the Guardians yesterday, they won, I believe, 7-0. They're actually set to debut those lovely City Connects. Believe they're continuing to play in Arlington throughout this series against those World Series champion Rangers. Here's the next pitch. That's in there. That's strike 1. Brett Moore 1 for 1 with a walk to his name as well. Again, 1 at bat, 1 run, 1 hit, 1 RBI, 1 walk. I mean, 1-1-1-1 is what you're seeing on the box score for Brett Moore. If you look at Game Changer, that's exactly what you're seeing. But now he's actually 1 more strike away from finishing that off and getting 1 straight across. That last column is strikeouts, but he's looking to avoid that column as best he can. We're evened up in hits. That's the shocking thing. 3 hits per side and only 1 more error for Normandy. Errors are always harmful. And I was actually talking the other day with Heights coach Edwin Mugridge, and he showed me that one right down the middle. That's strike 3. Brett Moore, he actually will cap it off, and he'll go 1 all the way across. Strike 3 was called, and it's out number 3. So we're through 5. 2 more innings to go. As I was just wanting to finish up this thought, the errors are one of the biggest aspects, actually, at this level, because you get a lot more errors than you do in professional ball, and a lot of those errors can be so harmful. I believe it was that Heights coach, Edwin Mugridge. He was showing me some of the box scores of some of Cleveland Heights games, and I was looking through Shakers as well. If you look at them, hits might be the exact same, but if you look, errors can be a real tough thing to manage. And again, Shaker has lost. We're not going to go to break. I'm going to finish this thought. In those before Lakewood's game on Friday, those last 4 games were losses where throughout those 4, there were 25 errors total in those 4 games. So that's over 6 errors a game. And they lost each of those by multiple runs. In that game against Lakewood, Shaker only had 1 error. They only lost by 1 to a team that was absolutely very successful throughout the season. Lakewood had a very strong winning record. So Shaker is a more capable team than so many other schools. They just got to limit the errors, and that's what we found over the past games. That one low and away. Here we are, top of the 6th. No, I didn't take a break. Just wanted to finish that thought, make a point, because it's just interesting when you sit back and kind of just look at that research and just realize that kind of trend that has gone through this Shaker season. That one low. So it makes you wonder if Shaker's errors have just been lowered, because right now they're averaging exactly, or actually I think it's like maybe just under or just over 3 errors a game. That one in there. That's 2-1 the count. But if you round, it's 3 errors a game on average for Shaker. That one in there, strike 2, 2-2. You just got to wonder if those errors just weren't as hefty. What's the record for this Red Raider team? And you can't change the past, but maybe that can actually give Shaker some motivation moving forward. If they're cleaning up the errors like they did last game, heck, they could make a playoff run. Next pitch, swing and a miss. Casey Robinson strikes out. Oh, a K once again. That's K number 4. Shaker leads 5-0. Robinson has allowed 3 hits, 2 walks. He hasn't hit a batter. Normally, when I say that, it happens next. Luckily, that's not the case. This one grounded over to Luther over at third. The throw, and that's great throw from Luther to get it on target and in time for out number 2. So top of the 6th, 2 outs. Normandy down to their final 4 outs. Let's see if Robinson can just get the third and take his offense back to the batter's box. Lacrosse continuing to work behind me. The women's team, that is. That one, was that a strike? Or was that off? I believe that was a strike. Motioned over to his right. Not sure if that was an off the plate motion. It was not. That was strike 1. That one, however, we will get a motion. That one was in tight for ball 1. The next pitch, ooh, off the plate. Some of these have been incredibly close. Over out in right field, we're actually seeing a mini, maybe practice of baseball. This one lined into right field. Tagan actually going to be the first guy to get there, and he'll toss this one into OHSAA. So now this is where it gets a little surprising. 4 hits for Normandy, no runs. Shaker with 3 hits, 5 runs. And again, I know the errors for Normandy have just been more costly, but still 4 hits and no runs is just a hard feat when you got a team like Shaker who they've actually got an error, but they've been struggling with the errors, except not last game. So I'm really looking forward to what this Shaker team has to offer if they can continue this playoff streak. This one sent over to the left side. Sam Luther keeps it in front of him. So he didn't allow the lead runner to make his way to the corner. So Sam Luther couldn't do too much with it, but he did keep it on the infield, and that was good on its own. At least it was something to keep this Normandy offense out of deeper scoring position. 5-0. Shaker leads here. 2 guys on, 2 outs. No defensive changes have been made. I want to make that clear. Sometimes, especially at this level, you'll get some of those changes. Here's the pitch from Robinson. This one, hot shot over to the left side. Looks like we're actually seeing Malachi Kranz now warm up in the pen. He's with Aaron Neiman. Not sure if either of these guys are really going to pitch, but maybe just trying to keep active and warm. As, again, it's getting a little chilly, nothing too crazy. This one's going to get away from Garnett. Here's the throw on a second, and he's in safely. It'll make its way into shallow center. That's going to score one. Wow. Surprising throw from Quentin Garnett, and that just stinks because that ruins a shutout. And again, not his fault on the error, but that just stinks. Not a smart throw. And now runner at second, 2 outs. This one sent over to the right side. Foul. 2 strikes, 1 strike away from ending this top of the 6th and getting that 4th out. Or excuse me, that 3rd out. Not sure where 4th came from. 5-1 now the score. Shaker leading here on their home field. Next pitch, trying to get strike 3, and he does on the swing and miss. Robinson to 95 pitches. He'll rack up K number 5. And out number 3 here in the top of the 6th. That takes us to the bottom, and Shaker's offense has 6 more outs to go. However, Normandy, they're in a tough position. 4 more runs to get, 3 more outs to do it. Let's see what's next. Thank you very much for tuning in. My name is Vaughn Ullum. Shaker close to getting to the next round and taking on Westlake. We'll see if it happens. Can Shaker just close it out? Here we are, bottom of the 6th inning. Shaker up by 4. Shutout was unfortunately taken away from Casey Robinson. It was an error from Quentin Garnett, or actually they're calling it on O'Shea Howard. However, the throw is just off target, and it wasn't. Maybe it was his fault that it made its way into center field. That would make sense for the error. That one maybe called a strike. Was that indeed a strike? That pitch seemed very low, but it looked like it was. And there you go. But yeah, the fact that Quentin Garnett did throw it was just not the right call. That went in there for strike 2. Luther is your batter. Luther 0 for 2 on the day. Looking to avoid a strikeout here. And this one's fouled back into the caging behind home plate. Shaker leads by 4. Looking to get a little bit more insurance behind whoever's going to be up next. Not sure if Casey Robinson has gone his length or if they're going to try and give him the complete game. We'll see. But yeah, so far he hasn't let a single earned run come across. That'll give you the confidence you want heading into a postseason. That one in tight, good take. However, not exactly too much of a question behind it. If he had swung at that, probably would have gotten him on the arms on the extension. Gray up to 65 pitches. Again, he didn't start. It was Wolf who had an inning pitched. Wasn't able to get any more outs after that first inning. This one fouled back once again. And now it looks like we're going to have a mound visit from the catcher mid at bat. Not exactly the most rare occurrence, but it's just not a common one. And it looks like Luther back in after the conversation, or actually he's now going to step back out again as the catcher needs a new replacement baseball. They'll get one with that official OHSAA print on it. You know, those OHSAA baseballs are oh so different. Here's the 1-2. This one's sent over to the right side. I'll do it again, 1-2. Luther battling. You got to give him that. He hasn't been hitting too well this season. He's got an average. Actually, I think it's safe to say he's been hitting pretty poorly. He's batting .053. Here's the next pitch. Whew! Much in tight. Ball 2. Good at-bat from him now. But, yeah, he's just got to pick up the production. That's another reason as to why it might not have been a terrible idea as a coach to put in another guy just for the sake of the offense. But, again, on defense, Luther has been doing pretty well. That's a called strike 3. Luther upset about that one, and understandably so. That one looked in tight. And yes, I know I'm not the umpire. He's all the way back at home plate. But, yeah, I don't know. Looks like all of these players on both sides have been really frustrated with the calls that they've been getting. And some of them seem to make sense as to why they have been a little frustrated. So with Luther down, Fogarty is up. The guy with the 4-game hitting streak will take strike 1 down the middle. Gray up to 71 pitches. Of the 71 pitches, 40 have hit the strike zone, so not a great ratio, but not at all a bad ratio, especially at this level. Next kick and pitch, that one up high. One and one the count. Shaker looking for the victory here. They're down to their final 5 outs here, but again, they're up by 4. This one's hammered, but it'll fall into the glove of the center fielder, Hinkle. Not bad contact. Again, could have been the wind, but I'm not sure that one got a lot of oomph on it either. Or not enough oomph on it. More oomph than I can put on it. I'll tell you that much. I'll tell you, from what I'm seeing from a lot of these guys in BP, not today in particular, but some of these guys can just absolutely hammer it at will. And we actually saw that from Nolan James a lot last year. We saw just home run after home run in batting practice, and he was fun to see. He's currently attending Notre Dame College just down the road, and actually been looking into trying to figure out what's going on with the fact that that Notre Dame College is closing after this year. This one fouled over to the right side, hitting a tree. Come on now, Quentin. What'd the tree ever do to you? 5-1 your score. Shaker leading. That one there was ruled, well, not exactly ruled. It was an obvious strike if it's foul. And that was strike 2. Garnett 0 for 3, looking to avoid an 0 for 4 performance. It would have been after what was a hit streak of 3s. Looking to avoid it here. This one's sent into center field. Hinkle under it, and he'll make the grab for out number 3. So now it's time for Normandy's offense to get going, because now you don't have a choice. If you want your seniors to put back on the jersey one more time, at least you gotta show up in the final inning, the top of inning number 7, coming your way. Let's see who takes the mound next. But Shaker, and actually it looks like it could be Andrew Fogarty, considering Nemo Crosby's out here in the left. We'll see what the case is. But thank you very much for tuning in. My name is Von Ullum here with the call. And let me get the confirmation. Looks like that's Thomas Barrett out on the mound, which would be a little surprising considering yesterday he told me that he was not going to be playing at all in the playoffs. At least he wasn't going to be starting. Maybe I should have specified. He's out on the mound. He's throwing some warm-up pitches. We'll be seeing the senior out here to try and close out the top of the 7th and close out this game, sending Shaker to the 2nd round. We'll be right back. My name is Von Ullum with the call from Shaker Heights, Ohio. Shaker 3 more outs away, defensive outs that is, from getting to round 2 of the sectional tournament. Thomas Barrett is in relief. He actually said he said to me yesterday he wouldn't be pitching too much here in the postseason just because his rehab has kind of slowed due to a prescription issue, I believe. And yes, he did say I could say this, so he said I could tell you this and it wasn't anything too personal. Just wanted to make that clear. But yeah, that's an odd issue. So his arm That was to make his arm just feel better in these tough moments where you want to be pitching. It just helps you out, especially through the rehab position. At least that's what I've gathered from what he told me. And so here, he's looking for a good outing to just close it out. And he's got 4 runs of insurance to work with. The 1-1, was that ball 2? I believe it was. But yeah, Thomas Barrett, threw 3. 2 won the count. But yeah, in his last outing, it wasn't exactly pretty, and no one had a pretty outing in that one. Actually, yeah, he technically did pitch the start of that Lakewood game. That was perfectly fine. He only allowed 1 hit, struck out 1, didn't allow anything to come across there. And that moved his ERA down from down to 5.6. It was at 7. The reason being, a grand slam came against him. Against Strongsville. This one grounded over to the left side. That's going to be foul and move us to a full count. 3 balls, 2 strikes, nobody out. But yeah, it was a grand slam against the Mustangs last time Barrett was out, and that was just a tough game for everyone. It's good to see, however, that Shaker bounced back. They had a great fight against Lakewood, and now here they are up by 4. This next pitch, skied up. We'll see if this is playable for Luther. It doesn't look like it will be, so we're going to do it again with a payoff pitch. Three balls, 2 strikes, nobody out here in the top of the 7th and final inning. Nemo Crosby, the new guy, out and left. So I'm actually not exactly sure why Fogarty came in. That was ball 4 in tight on Messina, so he'll take first. Let's see what Barrett has now in a bit more of a pressure situation. It's not exactly high pressure. 1 swing of the bat could just make it a 2-run ball game, but you don't want to exactly get to that point at all. Shaker got 4 runs in the final inning against US. They left 2 guys on in scoring position, almost tied it up. They lost it 12-2. It was an incredible offensive game between both sides. Both of them each had outbursts of offense. This one skied up over to the right side and out of play for strike 1. 1-1 the count, nobody out. 1 guy is on in the form of Messina. Hinkle, 1 for 3 on the day, is up in the right-handed hitter's box. Shaker, just those 3 outs away from moving into round 2 and taking on Westlake. Westlake gets the bye here in round 1. That pitch misses. Ball 2. I guess that was the case on pitch number 10 from Barrett. Again, the umpire has been a little bit of everywhere. That was a bit more of a rainbow of a pitch from Barrett. That one was on its way. And this one's lined into right. Cole Klein going to get there. He throws this one in with authority. Brett Moore picks this one out of the dirt. Runners at the corners. No outs. Barrett needs to slow it down now. Now it's just a bit more of a tense situation. Now we're going to get a mound visit. Head coach Stephen English to the mound. Wolf now the batter, and he's hitting with the best average today, however, 0 for 3. Started off on the mound for Normandy. After that, he went into left. So, yeah, on defense, let me recap for you because we got that one change. We have Nemo Crosby in left. That was your change. In center field, just got to look from him because I believe he can hear me from out here. Will Tagan out in center, and right it's Klein. On the infield, that stayed the exact same. Berglund's over at first, covering for a potential pickoff of Hinkle. Over at second, Howard, short, getting Brett Moore, that pitch up high, ball 1. And over at third is Sam Luther. Continuing to catch the balls and strikes is Garnett. Braden White was the man DHing today. However, just like last game, he's hitless. That one taken for a strike. The good thing about Braden White that didn't happen the last game, he actually was a base runner when he got a walk. However, he did get taken out. Richard came in as a replacement to just pitch run. This one, a hot shot down the first base line. Cole Klein sends this one back in quickly, but that's run number 2. And now are we going to get a change? We very well might. And yeah, that's going to be the case. Not a bad move if you're Stephen English. And we're going to step aside as we get the new warm-up pitches from the new guy. And this is what we were talking about. That's going to be your number 4 guy in the rotation, Andrew Fogarty, making his way up just to try and close this one out. And we're actually going to get another substitution out in the left. We're getting Nate Landever coming in from the dugout. Let's see what the sophomore can do. We'll see if he gets any action before the end of this game. But top of the 7th, 2 runners on, 1 in scoring position. It's actually going to be the tying run up to the plate with nobody out. We'll be right back. My name is Von Ullum here with the call. Andrew Fogarty taking the pitches. Normandy fighting to extend this game further. Shaker was 3 outs away 2 runs ago from closing this one out. They're still 3 outs away from closing this one out, and now the tying run is at the plate. Wolf is at first. Hinkle is at second. The batter is Root, who's 0 for 1. He came in earlier in the game for Sabin, who is also 0 for 1, but he walked and struck out. Here's the pitch. Strike 1. And again, these Normandy invaders have been aggravated with this umpire, it seems like all game long. And this one, a hot shot over to right. That's going to score 1. No. Well, now it will. He's going to round third. He'll make his way home, and with a slide, the tying run is on base. Wow. Still nobody out. Fogarty comes in. He'll give up RBI number 3. Runner at first and second. It's the same kind of position. Still nobody out, but now there's just one more guy coming across. 5-3 the score. Holy cow. The scenes here, if Shaker lost this one, would be devastating. That one's, wow, he's called that all game. And he calls that ball 1. Wow. He has been a little bit all over the place. Hasn't been too insane with it, but it's just been, a lot of these pitches have been just close enough that you can argue either way. And what he's called has been a little bit everywhere. Like that pitch, he's called it a strike, he's called it a ball. So I feel like if you pitch it there, 50-50. 1-1 the count. Wolf taking his lead off of second. This one under the glove of Berglund and past O'Shea Howard. That's going to score run number 4. But Klein's throw, it's cut off. Why did he cut that off? Oh, from here it looked like that was making its way in. Still nobody out. It's a 1-run game with 2 guys on. Go ahead run at first. Tying run on second. Fogarty needs to slow this down, and he needs to do it fast. Wow. Everyone is holding their breath now. Shaker up 5-4, that pitch up high. One swing of the bat can make this a whole new ball game. Fogarty last time against Normandy had them figured out from start to finish. That pitched low. Wow, this is a totally different ball game than it was 10 minutes ago. Fogarty on the 2-0. That pitch also down low. He's called that a strike before, but not here. 3-0 is the count. Nobody out. Will he walk the bases loaded? He will not there. That one laid right in. That's strike one. Wow. You can just feel it right now. Again, one swing of the bat can make this totally different. Fogarty sends this to second for the force. That's out number one with runners at the corners. Double play would be incredible. A strikeout would be incredible. You need it here. You don't want this to work its way tied. Shaker up 5-4. It was 5-0 at the beginning. Or excuse me, it was 5-1 at the beginning of inning number 7. And they were just so close, and now that's their first out. Wow, how is that a ball? Wow. Again, it's just, like, I would understand why that is a ball, but it's just the fact that that's been called the other way. As a pitcher, you just are struggling. This one skied up. Taken with the throw home. Oh, it's a dart. He's got him beat. Whoa! Taken with an incredible throw. And he guns him down at home. He wins the game. 5-4. Shaker moves on. Whoa! That didn't need to be that tense, but Tegan wins it here. Wow! What a throw! Holy! We can hear the Will Tegan screams from all the way out here. Wow! Wow! They move on, and we're going to see you in Westlake. Let's talk about it in front of the camera. Wow. Wow. That's just unbelievable. And, I mean, this is going to be hard to talk about. I'm just still in awe. That was an incredible play by Will Tegan. It's something we're going to be talking about for a long time. And, wow. Wow, wow, wow. Shaker, with an incredible throw from center field, saves this game. And Shaker, it didn't need to be that scary at the end there, but they carry this one into round 2. Almost was Normandy able to tie this one up. Whew. Wow. And, yeah, Shaker, they didn't have the best game. We'll be totally honest with you. Give me a minute. Just need to catch my breath after that one. Shaker, they were out hit 8-3, so that's just something that they're going to need to figure out as well moving forward. The hitting hasn't been the greatest issue. Again, it has been errors throughout the season, but today, actually, another issue for them. They had 4, and so that's just going to be something they need to figure out moving on. What an incredible finish. Right as that one was thrown from Will Tegan, everyone held their breath, and everyone knew that it's Will Tegan. And at the end of the day, you know he can make that throw, but it's just such an unlikely thing to happen, even in the major level. But Tegan did it. And I mean, wow. There's nothing else we can say at this point. Shaker, however, they need to understand that that was not a position that they should have been in. They need to move forward, and they need to take that final inning into consideration. They should have won this one by much more. It didn't need to be that stressful. It really didn't need to be that stressful on anyone. And yeah, so we'll talk to you more about that next game in the pregame of that next game. All I can say, and I'll get the confirmation now, but I believe it's 5 o'clock. I know it is Thursday. I can tell you that much. Against Westlake, in Westlake against those Demons. Shaker on the west side looking to continue their run, and they just hope that it doesn't end here. However, Westlake is going to have that rest. Here they are. It's a bye for them today. Everyone just catch your breath and get set for what should be a good game on Thursday. Thank you very, very much for tuning in. Will Tagan with the throw of a lifetime to seal the victory for Shaker today, and they win round one of the OHSAA tournament against the Normandy Invaders. Win or go home. Normandy does head home. Shaker to Westlake on Thursday. We'll see you there. My name is Vaughn Ullum here with the call, and we will be there on Thursday.